What if healing your relationship with your parents could set you free emotionally? Toxic patterns from our upbringing can create emotional wounds that echo throughout our lives. In this video, we're going to experience how you can break free from toxic parents, heal, and reclaim your emotional health. Stick around to the end, and I'll share how you can access my free course, How to Heal Emotional Pain, to take this journey even further. Firstly, we'll identify toxic patterns that might be affecting your life. Then we'll explore the role of forgiveness in freeing yourself emotionally. Next, we'll discuss how to reclaim your identity and validate your own needs. And after that, we'll explore boundaries and delve into the power of reparenting and ending the inner criticism that holds so many people back. Finally, we'll reflect on the spiritual lessons our relationships with our parents can teach us. And by the end of this video, you're going to have a clearer understanding of how to break free from toxic parents and feel in control of your life. Let's begin by recognizing toxic patterns that we inherit from our parents. Toxic patterns are behaviors and imprints from your parents that harm your emotional well-being. Examples include criticism, manipulation, or regret. Let's start with criticism. If your parents constantly criticized you, it might have left you feeling like you're never enough. Many of us grow up seeking validation from our parents as a way to feel loved and accepted. But when that validation isn't given, we can fall into a cycle of overcompensating. We try to achieve more, to be better, to work harder, all in the hope of hearing those magic words. I love you. I'm proud of you. You're enough. This unmet need can leave us feeling emotionally vulnerable and giving our parents control, not only over how we feel, but also control over our life, because that feeling can affect us in so many ways. Manipulation is another common example of toxic parenting. A parent may unconsciously try to make you feel responsible for their emotions. For example, they might make you feel guilty for prioritizing your own life over theirs, or accuse you of abandoning them when you pursue an important opportunity. Recognizing manipulation as it is happens to be a powerful tool. When you notice it, silently label it in your mind and say to yourself in a gentle, loving voice, manipulation, and imagine a gentle smile. This small act of awareness can help you feel safe, detached, and to help you to break free from its emotional grip before it escalates into conflict. Because you don't need to do what your parents tell you to get their approval. You need to live in alignment with your own needs, values, beliefs, and desires to truly approve of yourself. Neglect is another pattern of toxic parenting. When your emotional needs are unmet, it's natural to feel a void. And here's the empowering part. You don't have to wait for your parent to fill that void. Ask yourself, what emotional needs were not met in your childhood or are not met now, and how can you fulfill them for yourself? How can you give yourself the love, encouragement, or support you missed as a child? Who are the people in your life who offer you positive support? Spend more time with them. Can you seek these qualities in healthier relationships, not only in terms of getting, but also in terms of giving? When you focus on giving to others what you wish to receive, it's remarkable how life reflects that back to you. And remember this, underneath so many negative behaviors from toxic parents lies their own unresolved trauma. Because the truth is that they were doing the best that they could with the tools and emotional resources they had, and how they were affected by their parents. Recognizing this doesn't mean accepting their behavior or giving it power over you. Instead, it helps you to approach these patterns with compassion and a greater ability to move forward. Unresolved trauma from one generation is passed on to the next. It's your task to heal what was passed on to you and to minimize what you pass on to the next generation. Parent your children in the way that you wish you were parented. And if you find yourself projecting onto your children, then just recognize that. Allow it, develop your awareness, and aim to do better next time. No parent is perfect. No parent ever will be. We are all doing our best. This brings us on to the role of forgiveness. Forgiveness is an often misunderstood word. In my therapy practice, people often tell me, my parents don't deserve my forgiveness. However, the question isn't whether they deserve it. The question is, do you? Holding on to anger is like holding on to a hot coal. You're the one who gets burned. When you hold on to resentment and carry the past with you, it continues to shape your emotions, your thoughts, and your relationships. You see, to heal the past, you need to forgive. Otherwise, those emotions will arise inside you in the present and create the future, because this is how emotion works. Forgiveness begins with the intention to let go. It's not about excusing your parents' behavior. Forgiveness is about freeing yourself from the past. You'll know you've forgiven when you can think about your parents without feeling triggered, angry, anxious. When you reach this state, you'll experience peace and freedom. This is why it's so important to forgive. One way to foster forgiveness is to visualize the child inside your parents. Every human being carries within them an inner child, the emotional part of the psyche that wants to feel safe and loved. Your parents too were shaped by their upbringing. They faced challenges, trauma, and neglect that left them wounded. By visualizing the child within your parent, you can begin to understand their struggles and over time cultivate empathy and compassion for them. On an inner level, this will help you to redefine your relationship with them. As children, we're dependent on our parents for survival, and their values shape how we see the world. But as adults, we have the power to redefine ourselves. Ask yourself, what are my values? What are my beliefs, needs, and desires? Living in alignment with your authentic self gives you the freedom to grow into the person you want to be, rather than the person they wanted you to be. This also means letting go of the need for parental validation. Instead of seeking approval from your parents, focus on living in an aligned way with your higher values. Validation from within is the key to emotional freedom. It's also important to acknowledge that both you and your parents are constantly evolving. Who you were as a child is not who you are now. Similarly, your parents are likely changing as well. Perhaps a parent who was absent and stressed during your childhood has softened with age or has become more relaxed with retirement. Maybe an illness or the loss of a parent has shifted their perspective. Perhaps they are holding on to regret from the past as well. By embracing these changes, you can redefine your relationship with them in a way that minimizes regret and honors the person that you are today. This brings me on to reparenting. Many of us carry the voice of our parents as an internal critic. You might hear your father's disapproving tone or your mother's anxious worry replaying in your mind. The next time you notice this, pause and gently remind yourself, that's their voice, not mine. You can even imagine erasing those critical words and replacing them with affirmations of kindness, love, and support, as if you could write those words on a golden pen on an imaginary piece of paper in your mind and bring them into your heart. Reparenting yourself means becoming the loving, supportive figure to yourself that you wished a parent was when you were growing up. It's also about discovering the freedom of meeting your own emotional needs, speaking to yourself with compassion, building a true foundation of inner safety. And to do that, you need to understand your boundaries. Healthy boundaries can create clarity and empowerment, not just for you, but also for those around you. When your parents understand what you are willing to accept and where your limits lie, it can improve communication and reduce misunderstandings. Remember, boundaries are an act of love for yourself and others because they allow you to engage in relationships from a place of authenticity and mutual respect. Start small. Identify one area in your relationship where a boundary is needed and practice asserting it gently but firmly. Over time, you will notice that as your boundaries strengthen, so does your emotional freedom. You are no longer reacting out of old patterns. Instead, you're choosing how to navigate your relationships in a way that aligns with what you need. Our relationships with our parents and family in general carry spiritual lessons. What lessons are your parents teaching you? Perhaps forgiveness, acceptance, resilience. By identifying these lessons, you can approach your relationship with them as an opportunity for growth. Consider this idea. If a deep, wise part of you had actually consciously chosen to have these parents, in that situation in your upbringing, then the question is, why? Why did you choose to have these parents? What lessons can they teach you about life and love? What lessons will you learn for approaching your relationship with them in a conscious, loving way? What are you learning about life and love because of them? And how would applying these lessons in your life improve your life and relationships with others once you've broken free of the past? Please know that you're not alone. These struggles are universal, and there is a path to healing. To learn more about how to release emotional pain and to build a healthier relationship with yourself and others, join my free course, How to Heal Emotional Pain. The link is in the description below. Breaking free from toxic parents is not about rejecting your parents. Breaking free from toxic parents is not about cutting them out of your life. Breaking free from toxic parents is about finding peace, freedom, and a deeper connection to yourself. It's about navigating your relationship with them in the way that you can feel proud of after they are no longer here. Thanks for watching. My name's Nicholas Harris, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.